everybody had a chance to go through the minutes? And if so, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Glenn.
I'll second it.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Regards to the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A couple of housekeeping things we need to take care of. First of all, the very first thing that we would talk about is we, obviously we all know that the high school team did well. And so in order to honor those guys for their hard work and things, not so much just because of the fact they won the state championship, but they're just good guys, good character guys.
Mhm.
So we printed up a resolution for the city of Huntingburg. And basically, I think I sent you guys a copy of that. So what I really need today is just the approval for you, or to make the motion to approve the resolution. And what we'll do is we'll get the rest of you to sign it. We'll probably frame this and then present it to them at the celebration they're gonna do on 4th of July down at League Stadium. So I'll entertain a motion for that.
2021, 2021,
21.
21. Oh, boy.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Steve.
Can we all second it?
You can all sign it.
All right.
We're gonna sign it anyway. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
We're not used to this. We're used to the roll call delay.
I know, it's just kinda weird. It's like, we'll just pass that around and then everybody sign it. The next thing on the agenda, obviously we've already gone through this once before, as far as the appropriations are concerned, but it seems as though the ordinance and things that was given to the Department of Local Government Finance was incorrect, so we have to redo the process. So I think, first of all, don't we have to rescind the former resolution?
I think Phil said the current resolution rescinds.
It does rescind it?
The current resolution is rescinded by this one.
By the new resolution,
By the-
okay. So basically, we need to approve the resolution to change it to the new resolution.
Okay, is it an ordinance?
Hang on a minute.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
It's
So the
it's
corrected-
additional appropriation ordinance.
it's, I think it's 2021-18, wasn't it?
This will be 2021-22,
Gotcha.
the new one.
Which rescinds the 2021-18,
Right.
correct? Okay. So do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-22.
There's
I'll
a motion. Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Hopefully we got it right the second
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
We missed something the first time, and when the state got it, they let us know. So we get to do it again.
Pretty
Okay.
common.
Well, that's okay. We're here to please, so
Yeah.
just come on in
And
anytime.
we all missed it, so I don't feel too bad.
Okay, that was an introduction. So now we need to
Suspend the rules.
set a public
A
hearing
public
date
hearing now,
Oh,
because
for
we have to
July
go
the
through Public
13th.
hearing again, yes. So what was the time frame on it? We talked about setting the, publishing no later than July the 3rd and possibly have the hearing, on the 13th of
13th,
July.
yeah, but we'll get it in tomorrow and then have it on the 13th.
Do we need a motion for that?
Right, so set the public hearing.
Do I
Make
have
a motion to set the public hearing for July 13th, regular
Motion
council
by
meeting.
Glenn,
I'm second.
second by Jose.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So you'll be back again?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think so. It's a good thing we live close.
Yes.
So
Bring
that's
your
it
pie.
until we actually get past the public hearing, correct, Tom?
Right.
Okay.
And then
And then we're
that'll
gonna-
be an adoption after that.
After that time,
considered.
right.
The good news is
And then we'll give it to you.
no one can say they weren't told. The public will widely know. It's been covered in 4 different meetings.
Right.
As well as the news articles and everything else.
So-
Yes, it is.
And we'll be able to approve it at the 13th meeting after the public hearing.
Yes.
What I thought. Yeah. Good.
We'll bring Sissy along if we can. if she-
Okay, tell her.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here again.
Thank you.
The next item is the actual final adoption of ordinance 2021-19, which is the vacating portion of South Sycamore Street. I think we've all kind of gone over that already and things, so it's just a matter of formality, so I'll entertain a motion. I guess, Tim, you need to step out of this.
I was abstaining, yes.
Okay, all right, so with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, adoption of 2021-19.
I have a motion.
I'll second it.
Second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Kissling.
Aye.
Bounce.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Dubon.
Aye.
Ware.
Abstain?
Abstain. 4 ayes, 1 abstain.
Okay, the next item, I'm gonna actually let Glenn talk about this item, because you're gonna have to abstain anyway from
Yeah.
this, and kind of go through a little bit, and then we can discuss it as to why we're here to do that, okay?
Basically, what happened when they put the water line through in front of Steinkamp's, the curb was replaced. It was approved by the state to put back as was for the driving entrance off the highway. And when it got put back, it was put back at a full 4-inch curb. And I asked the state to come in and maybe try to raise the highway when they're blacktopping, and they wouldn't do that because it costs the blacktop. So they suggested either one, tear the curb out, or two, have it grind down. So Jason Stamm got ahold of the person who does the grinding for the city, and he gave an estimate, was it $1,200?
$1,200, yeah.
$1,200 to basically take from the radius north approximately 40 feet down to 1.5 inches of grade. And that would be the cheapest and best fit to do so. What's happening is when semis come in, they can't make the turn. It's such a narrow street, so they're dragging their trailers up on the curbs, and it's tearing up trucks and trailers. So if we can get that taken care of, and when you exit off the scales, you're jumping a 4-inch curb to get out onto the highway. So Jason got it approved, and he just felt that since it was a water project, that the water department, should have to pay for it. So that's what's before us, that to approve to be done and have the water department pay for it.
The other thing I'll mention too is that Phil had sent me a note of that also, and basically his only concern is the fact that if we pay for the whole thing, well, that set a precedent, the fact that it's not the whole thing that was part of our problem. Part of it was Steinkamp's and part of it was ours as far as the distance. At the Board of Public Works, we kind of said, well, it's not worth the aggravation for the $600 one way or the other, but his concern was if we don't look at it from a standpoint of maybe even a share of the cost, is that gonna set a precedent for somebody else to possibly, well, they took care of his, why don't they take care of mine? So that's kind of up to you guys as far as determining as to whether or not we want to take care of the whole thing, or whether you want to split the cost with Steinkamp. That was his concern that he asked me to present tonight for that, so.
I have one question, and it goes back like, who gave them directions to build it up? If the water department paid a service to do it, is it the water department's problem, or is it the service who did it
I don't
for
know that there
them?
was, I was working from home, so I wasn't at her. It would have been taken care of at the time of
Well, I understand that,
construction,
you know,
but,
because
I guess the point was, they were just probably told to pour a curb, and that's what they
they
did.
just did.
So, but it was approved to have the driveway type approach, is what the state says.
Jerry, and anything that you've seen?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Kind of blindsided by it.
You bring your checkbook?
But, yeah, right, yeah. As far as our water main goes, and, I wasn't a big part of that, Gary was here, he took care of a lot of that. Our water main was actually set back off the highway, and we really didn't need to tear the curb out at all. I don't know how that deal worked out. I know there was a deal with Jaminski's and the city to redo the whole parking lot and the curb line. As far as I know, personally, I don't know if that curb was even included in the city project.
Well, the state, Steinkamp's paid up to where the water line went through. And then, as you said, Gary was gonna take care of the curb. The way I understood it, the water department was taking care of the curb there because that curb was deteriorating. I mean, it was falling apart, it needed to be fixed. So that's where it all came about. As far as the Steinkamp sharing part of the interest, I guess I'll go on record and say I don't think that's fair to Steinkamp's, because they didn't really have anything to do with it.
So Steinkamp's paid from the water cut to the building,
Yes,
and we paid from the water cut to the road.
right.
And we made this agreement, and honored the agreement.
That was in the contract, I believe,
And
with the
if
water.
this was, if you put another zero on this contract, might have a whole nother line of thought, but I think Steinkamps is a member of our community, and I think there is a lot of intangible things that Steinkamps have done for the city, its residents, just the community in general. This is $600. I don't know that this is worth an argument.
Well, that's exactly what the Board of Public Works came up with, but I had to tell you this, because this is what Phil sent me to present to you as far as that type of
We-
thing. And
we
he was
do-
looking at for everything.
We do need to look at both sides,
Yeah,
we
so-
do. I mean, if it's $12,000, then I might have a different problem, but this is we have an agreed service with this sidewalk grinder. He's been coming for 5 or 6, 7 years now. He does an excellent work. We know what we're gonna get. I'm certain we'll get this back in something, in some sort of intangible way. We'll get to use something or get some support on something we need when we're doing some other project on some other street, because I know that they own quite a bit of property in town, and we do a lot of work in the right of ways and things like that, so.
So-
It's my feelings.
I agree with Steve. I'm sure Jason's checked with NDOT to make sure we can do this, and.
Yeah, he
Okay.
has.
Yeah, so I agree with Steve. I'm not allowed to agree with Glenn since he's abstaining, but
Yeah.
but I think he makes a really good point, and Steve as well. Tim, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just, I was going back to, I hate to take the money out of the water department, if it's whoever put the curbing in the company, should've.
The
did whole work
contractor.
And say, how high do we need to make this, instead of just doing it, and then now we gotta come back and pay for it and
Yeah.
fix it, instead of, we're fixing somebody's error is what we're doing. And
Well-
it ain't the city's, it ain't the water department, or I'm not saying it's Steinkamp's fault.
Yeah.
You know.
Is there a way we could check the
And we
specs on
can,
what we requested?
I can get with Midwest Engineering. They had an inspector on that job all the time that was following the prints.
Yeah.
Jaminski's and Justin Love, I believe, subcontracted Jaminski's got for that, and they had a set of prints as well. So if that was in the prints, that should have been followed.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
I also
would
agree with
like
that,
to-
yeah.
If I have any say in that, I'd like to postpone it for another meeting. I hate to do that. I know trucks are getting tore up, but.
Well, the thing is,
We got
why can't we
till-
go ahead and fix the problem, and then we'll worry about where it comes from? I mean,
I
as far as.
don't have an issue with that. I think we
Yeah,
can.
that would be fine.
I do think there might be some negotiations on the backside, but the problem's the problem.
Right,
And that is, they're not gonna be able to dig it out and report it for $1,200.
right.
I assure you that.
I'd agree that he should check the contract and see what it was, but.
Yeah, if it's
No, the
ma-
state said it was approved to put back as was.
Yeah, if they approved it, and if they built it to spec, and then that's the spec, then,
I would suggest maybe making a motion to go ahead and get it fixed, for one thing, and then check into it before we figure out who's gonna pay what, when, where, how, and why.
I agree.
I agree.
If we can do it in 2 steps, let's go ahead and approve. Yes, let's get the work done, authorize it, get it done. And then Jerry, if you could check specs or have
I'll
Phil
do that
help
tomorrow
you.
morning.
Okay.
yep.
And then just let us know and we'll deal with the next step if we need to.
Okay, so I'll need a motion to that.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the repair work in front of Steinkamps on the highway, and we'll address the payment at a later date.
Okay, there's a motion,
I'll second it.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
All you have to do is, do you have to do a roll call, Tom? It's Glenn's abstaining? Okay. Okay, good deal. Okay, the next thing I've got is this, big packet here of a draft as far as the, new designs and construction manual. This was gone over by actually our engineer that actually kinda helped put this all together. And it's just a matter of, it's been already gone through the Board of Public Works and Safety, but we just wanna make sure that the council was okay with it also. So I just basically need an approval from you that you're approved of the design standards and construction manual, so. It's very intricate reading if y'all want to read through it.
Line by line.
Holy cow.
It's got everything in there, and I don't understand it all, cause I'm not an engineer, but, I glanced through it a little bit, but I figured the engineer knows better than I do, so.
So this would be the standards of design for the city, what they're
City standard for construction manual, yes, for the city, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's quite in detail. I mean, it goes over just about everything that I could possibly think of, and probably 10 times more than that, so.
Is there many changes from the past or?
I don't even know that we had all this before.
I don't think we had it in the past, I believe we just finally got it in writing.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the UDO.
Yeah, it's part of that, as
Yeah.
well, you know, we did
Yeah.
the snow removal thing earlier, then this was back up for that type of thing, so we went and tried to get that taken care of too, so. So if, I'll entertain a motion to accept the draft until we get it finalized, but that's up to you guys.
And if there's issues, can that be amended down the road, I
Yes,
suppose?
we can always
Yes.
amend it, yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Tim,
I'll say.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? See, it's going pretty quick, John, remember that.
Yeah. Certainly, John.
Council?
Mhm.
Start off on the gas. Installed 2 new services this month. We've got 12 on file to be installed when the contractors are ready. Basically, they're in Hunter's Crossing 3. They've installed them. Crews alongside USDI, they come over and board gas main in on William Street. It's a block long. That steel main's probably back in the 50s. It's getting kinda to the point where either replace this whole steel main or put a plastic one in, so we bored the plastic one in. Then we had to replace all the surfaces to the house, because all the surfaces to the house were steel, so you can't run a plastic main and run steel services. So they come in and they bored 7 services into the house while they had the boring crew there. Saved a lot of time and effort when you try to trench all that through the yards, across the other utilities. And then they bored a new line in, gas main in on 12th Street from the newly acquired OFS building, which used to be the old Carico building. OFS is gonna lower that lot from the building to the road several feet, so our steel main was gonna be exposed. So OFS is gonna pay the bill for that. We went down to the edge of the property, we put a plastic conversion in, so we went from steel to plastic, we bored that plastic in. So that steel's all been, or plastic main's all been in, and it's all hooked up now, so it's all ready to go. And then we bored a service in at Geiger Street, new plastic line. I have a picture of what was there before. As you can see, that steel is put in probably in the 60s. It comes up right in the driveway. As you can see, then it angles over to the house, goes along to the back of the house where the gas meter is. There's a very small leak coming from where it goes into the ground there. As you can see, to me it'd be a big trip hazard, getting out of your vehicle and walking to the back of the house, or a vehicle hitting it. Our main concern was a vehicle hitting it, causing a large gas leak. And you can see it's all concrete all the way to the main, so it'd take a long time to dig in the road and get it shut off, or dig through the concrete. So since the city put it in years ago like that, we bored in on the other side of the house, which is grass. We're gonna have to have a contractor come into the basement of the house and route the gas to the other side of the house, through the house, and disconnect it on the other side. So we're working with a contractor to get that scheduled in, because that's, to me, it's a big safety hazard right there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if kind of liability if somebody fall and break it, injure themselves, what kind of liability that would be.
So I assume we basically own everything up to the meter.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hokey way of doing it, but.
I don't know why they did it like that
I was looking at that too, why would,
40 years ago.
Yeah.
It's probably easier to do.
maybe there's no concrete there at the time too, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't know. But we gotta fix it.
Fix it,
So,
okay.
while the boring crew's here, we went ahead and bored that plastic line in. That's pretty well hit on the gas. Like I said, they just been working, changing the surfaces over on William Street from the steel to the plastic, and they, got that all done last week. And they, decommissioned the steel line. So Kim's updating the maps for, as we speak. Any questions on the gas?
Didn't we, say, is there something now that you have to use, we can't use certain independent contractors for gas
Yep.
boring because they have to have a,
They gotta be operator qualified. That runs the
Certification.
actual trenching machine, even though they're not messing with live gas, basically just pulling in a conduit. It's a gas conduit instead of a regular conduit.
yeah, they just.
Pulling in a regular conduit, we could use anybody, but since it's a gas conduit, guy on the trencher has to be operator qualified.
Yeah,
That's a major undertaking.
yeah, that's like
It's. you'd-
Major league.
You could be audited by the US, IURC.
Yeah.
You'd have to have all this documentation and.
probably few and far between right now.
And one of the IURC inspectors, when he was down doing an audit, we were talking about this, cause I was complaining about it. He said, well, one of the IURC inspectors was actually stopped at a job site, seen a guy on a trencher, and he actually stopped the job, and wanted to see all his qualification papers, and he shut the job down until they could either show it, or they got an operator qualified operator to do it. So he just gave me a warning.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now we gotta have a UFDI come over from Illinois to do our boring. That's why we try to have a whole day's worth of boring for him when he does come over.
Yeah, ain't worth a while.
Yep. Any other questions? On the electric side, we did some tree trimming in some isolated areas that were getting grown up into the lines. And then we did finish at Arby's, the future Arby's. We come across that back lot with 3-phase. We trenched that in, got our wire run, got everything terminated to a junction box right at the property's edge. So now all we gotta wait for is contractors at Arby's to pour the concrete pad, level the ground out, and then we'll go in and run it to the concrete, set the transformer. So we're all pretty well finished there. And we've been working on South Cherry. We replaced 6 poles there. There's a couple poles in pretty bad shape. So we set 1 steel and 5 wooden poles. And we also run all new wire and then spans, updated the wire. So I've been working on that the last couple of weeks. And I've been working on proposals for our SCADA system. We got everything ready to send out if approval, once I get approval. I took last year's quotes, and I took the year before, went through all the documentation. I feel like I got a good set of specs now. So I got that all ready to send out upon approval. Actually, I had a meeting with the city insurance person yesterday and for the gas and electric, and actually they asked the question if our electric system had SCADA system. I said, well, we had one in 2004. I said, slowly died over the years and finally it died altogether. I said, actually tomorrow I'm taking a proposal to the council for a new SCADA system. So she's satisfied with that. I would like to get approval and send out for the bids. I will copy you, Tom, with the specs. It's 13 pages long. When I email them out to the contract or the companies, I'd like to have the bid opening on July 22nd at 10 a.m.
We just need a motion to approve the request for proposals from the council.
Yeah, I think that's how it looks.
Okay, there's a motion on the table.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who did that? I missed.
Tim.
Tim, yeah, I'm
Tim
sorry.
approved the motion and I think
I second it.
Steve seconded.
Send it out.
What?
Send her out.
Send her out, okay. We'll send it out tomorrow. Also, I have a quote for wooden poles. We're down to about 5 poles in our yard. The guy's been setting a lot of poles here the last, so far this year. Send a quote out for 25 poles, which is basically a truckload of wooden poles. One quote had 25 poles, one quote had 26 poles, and one quote had 27 poles. I don't know why it says 25 on our sheet we sent. So I went by individual cost for the poles, which the lowest bidder was Thomason Lumber for $11,875, which is $475 a pole, which the other two companies were over $500 a pole.
Is there any difference in qualities or specifications of the poles, or
They're all the same specs.
All the same spec ones, so you're, okay.
So you need a motion to approve your,
Want to improve the
Purchase of the
purchase of the pole, wooden poles.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then
You're on a roll, John, keep going.
Yep.
I would like to send out approval to get quotes for about time to replace our garage doors, where we park our electric trucks and 2 of our gas trucks. The doors are probably 20 years old, they've been beat on, banged on. Actually, the top panel where the opener kinda
Attaches.
got a bow to them.
Mhm.
We've replaced the openers probably 3 times now. We do that ourselves. But actually, the doors and the hardwares are getting to the point where we're getting pretty, the rollers, the doors are just, the new doors, we'd like to have some windows up high, let more light in during the day, evening.
Maybe
So it'd be
insulated door?
3 large doors, 14-foot tall doors, and the other 3 doors are 10-foot for the little bucket truck and 2 gas trucks. And then 14-foot doors are heavy.
They insulated doors in too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So our doors face north.
Yeah, okay.
So we just need a motion to approve to getting the quotes on them?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not doing anything.
Yeah, you don't have anything yet.
And it'd be doors and hardware.
So I have a motion?
I'll make the
Motion
motion.
by Jeff?
Yep.
Have a second?
Second.
Second by Jose. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd like to congratulate Derek Roth. He just completed his apprenticeship training program. He went out 2 weeks ago. He went up for 3 days to Scottsburg. Just finished his 4-year apprenticeship program. He's now a journeyman lineman. He did an excellent job. Actually, he finished all his test outs at 100%. The instructor called and said that was the first in IMEA history that somebody went all 4 years, 100%. And the 3 days he went to get his final test, he had it was 3 days, 4 categories: pole climbing, underground, overhead, and safety, I think it was. He scored 100% in all of them, plus all 4 years, and it said, the instructor said he'd been there 29 years, and this is the first somebody's did. So once again, I congratulate him. He did a fine job.
Great.
That's as good as a state championship. We ought to put a resolution together for him.
There you go.
He just wanted
He might be
a
look-
raise.
I think he might be bucking for John's job.
Bucket, think about it.
Congratulate him for us, John.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
really awesome.
We will do something for him too for that reason.
That's good, that's good.
Actually, I think they're gonna send something down.
Yeah.
since
I
it's-
bet they will.
Yeah, we'll probably have some kind of a presentation for it when they send it down too for him, so we'll have everybody involved in that too, so,
Excellent job.
That's great.
yeah.
Any questions, any other questions on electric?
Well,
Oh,
All right.
keep
thank
my
you.
lights on.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
good. Thanks, John.
Mm.
Jerry, you're up. Now that we know that the water department's gonna pay for that concrete,
Stop it. We'll start with distribution. Our GIS mapping has been kind of lacking over the years. We've been pretty shorthanded in order to get that up to date. We hired Cody Thompson. He's worked for the utility department, I believe, for 4 years, and he got all their GISing up to date, and so he's working on that for us. He's just seasonal help. The 5th Street repaving project, we had to move 2 service lines for them out of the sidewalk. The Washington Street project, it's been going on for about a year. We finally have all the services moved to the new main, and we will start moving. We've got 2 fire hydrants that we have to move to that new main, so we'll set those on the opposite side of the road in the city's right of way. The St. Anthony Vault, it was brought to my attention that it is not up to state standards. So we've got the sump pump installed, we're waiting on electric, and we've got a backflow preventer and a new meter to put in there for that to get it up to code. We've had 2 copper service line leaks within the city, and we replaced them from the main to the meter pit. We're looking into other products, other types of material for water service lines. We found that our soil's very corrosive in town, and it's eating the copper, so there's better alternatives out there, and we're working on getting that switched over. We actually have 8 new service lines. We installed 4 at the Hunters Crossing this month, and then today we just installed another 4 at Chestnut Gardens. 5th Street, when we moved the 2 service lines, we found a lead service line. Anytime we find a lead service line, it has to be removed. So we went ahead and core drilled all the services on 5th Street and up Washington, where there's gonna be repaving done. And any of them that we find, we haven't got them excavated yet, but any of them that we find will be changed out before the paving project has happened, so we don't have to tear up any new pavement. And we had in-service training at the Huntingburg City Park, and all employees attended. And then we've had a water main between 22nd Street and Phoenix Drive to the west of the highway that we had to cut and cap last year due to a water main break. I finally got all of our permits from NDOT to go in there and excavate that and reconnect our water main. So we're working on that. That'll be this coming week. We'll get that all tied back together for circulation and water quality. And St. Henry had a water main leak yesterday on their main water line coming from their water tower, and we sent 2 guys and a service truck for 4.5 hours to them to give them aid and got them all put back together. And that's pretty much it for distribution.
Was that down by 231?
Yes, right by Roger Hunter Jr.'s
Yeah,
house. If
that's
you
a
guys
whole
know where
bunch
it's
of
at.
down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How does that collaboration between 2 departments like that work?
We have a rate that we charge per man hour and per truck.
Mhm.
So it would be just like if any other contractor hit one of our service lines.
I see.
Is how we would handle that.
And-
They've helped us out numerous times as far as Jasper and everybody else.
Yeah.
All try to come together and help each other out when we can.
That's good.
Yeah, they got a mutual aid agreement between
Right.
all the departments, I think. It's, that way nobody's out of service very long. Go ahead.
Well, same topic.
Nope, different topic.
Okay, the work that you're doing on Washington Street, is that in preparation for a new paving work that's gonna happen on?
It will, the service lines that we're core drilling on Washington Street is in preparation for that paving job. And then also, we started at the 100 block and we did the 100, 200, and 300 block. We've had to remove all those services off of an old 6-inch main. There's an 8-inch main that sits right beside it that is a whole lot newer, a whole lot better shape. That 6-inch main we've had in the last 3 years, I think we've had probably 12 water main breaks on it. So we're trying to get everything switched over so we can kill that 6-inch water main. That way there's not an issue once the new pavement's put in, and of course we don't want any residents without water while we're working on an old water main as well.
Okay. And
So-
do you have any idea when that, like, is there a deadline for you to be done so paving can work?
Not as
or-
far as from First to the 3rd Street, and the other one, there's only 3 services, so we'll have that taken care of before they pave.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
Thanks.
something, Steve, you had a question?
On 5th Street, you said you moved 2 services. Were they in the sidewalk or something? Were
Well,
were the meters in the sidewalk or
The
what?
new sidewalk was gonna be, they will be in the sidewalk.
So that's why you moved them.
between that and where their new storm tile is, they put storm tile in that wasn't there previously, and at the grade it lays was the same height as the service line. And since they were lead, we had to remove them anyways, but
Yeah.
they had to be
So you-
lowered. And
So did you cord all the rest of Fifth Street then?
yes, yep, we have core drilled it, we haven't excavated it yet to make sure that it's all, you know, whether they're lead or copper. We
Okay.
know, we've got record that 4 of them have been changed, so there's 3 potentially that could be lead still in Fifth Street.
Yeah. I know they had a huge push on that
Mhm.
years ago. They
We-
just spent, a couple of years trying to locate every lead line we had, but.
We've removed since the beginning of last year, we've removed 35 lead service lines.
Surprised there's that many left.
We
Doesn't
figure
seem like it.
roughly 15% left in the city.
Wow.
So, we've gotta have them all removed by 2024 per IDEM. The filtration plant, we've had some security lights in the parking lot that have been out for quite some time. I've got with John and his guys have got, new security lights ordered for that. All the construction in the water filtration plant itself is complete. Reynolds still has a little bit of dirt work to do outside where they've had some washouts. And we've had a sodium permanganate line that's outside of the water plant that's sprung a leak, so they're coming back. They've got a different material to replace that line with. So it's actually in a sleeve, so they'll be able to pull that through. And they're supposed to be here this Friday to take care of that. Other than that, we've just been working on cleaning up our mess from all the construction work. Everything else, the filter plant's been running flawlessly. And that's pretty much it for the filter plant.
That leak they have, is that something that falls back on them, or is that?
It is, yeah, it's a material that they used for the piping. The chemical is pretty corrosive, so it's, they just had to step back and pick a different material. They got with the
Okay.
company that makes the chemical and was able to get something better.
Yeah, very well, good.
Our metering system, we're still installing our year 5 set. We've kind of stepped back on that a little bit due to the utility billing office is down an employee right now. So we're toned it back a little bit for them. They're struggling a little bit to keep up. And our meter system, it's reading very well. I just checked it right before this meeting. We've got 2 stale reads that shows that they're not reading right now. 2 days ago they read, and that's a common issue. Tomorrow they'll probably read again. They're usually out in the Ferdinand area, our furthest services away. And we're still continuing to notify customers of water leaks with that system daily. And then the other thing I have is a request to upgrade some equipment with the new water plant upgrade. Our old programming and equipment is outdated. I have a bid from Torque Engineering. It's the only bid I present. They do all of our programming and anything that has to do with our SCADA system. They're the ones that take care of it. The bid request is for the programming software so they can remote in if we have problems. We've had problems in the past where sometimes it takes them 3 or 4 days to respond, and we're down 3 or 4 days without being able to treat water. Our SCADA system is connected to our water tanks and all of our valving. It's very important, probably one of our most important tools that we have at the water plant. And with that, they want to install a battery backup to keep all of our terminal blocks and our PLCs and our SCADA graphs up with power as well. When our power kicks off, the time that it takes for our generator to kick back on, we'll lose our whole SCADA system. Sometimes it can take up to a half hour to reboot. So with this battery backup, it wouldn't lose power during that time.
So you're looking, the quote, the total quote would be around $8,436?
Yes,
is that
sir.
correct?
Was Rob involved in this, or does he need to be involved with this?
He is aware, and he told me that it is what we need. He's looked over it. I've sat down with him, actually, as soon as I got the email with the bid,
Okay.
and he looked into it too. And with our system, they can't just get in through a back door through like a VPN. That was my question to him, if they could do that, and this software wouldn't be needed. But with our system that we have, since it's so secure, that's not possible, he said.
Okay, that's as I expected. I want just, as long as it's compatible and it's been, it, you know, worked with everything else we got in the city.
Yes, sir.
So,
Hey, Jerry, is that, would this be something that we could use any leftover SRF money for?
It's a good possibility.
It's part of the water plant upgrade.
It is.
It's a water plant
You're
upgrade, is it
right.
not?
It is, yep. We can definitely put a request in for that.
I can't believe it
Would
said
you get with
leftover
John,
money.
I guess?
I can, yeah, I can get with John and we can go over that.
Does that happen?
Leftover money. All right.
So do we,
It's not
we need?
left over, we just don't have to pay for that.
It's just what stuff we haven't paid for yet.
Yeah, that's what I know.
So is there, he's requesting a motion to approve purchasing this, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then we'll figure out where it's coming from.
Okay, yep, I'll get with him, I'll get with John Wetzel tomorrow as well. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, thanks.
Tom?
Every year we do an ordinance that allows me to move the money between major budget classifications when items start to go into the negative. When we do a budget, it's basically an estimate, but we need to move appropriations around so that we don't go into the negative. And usually I wait till the end of the year to do that, so I don't have to continually do that, because otherwise it would be I would be doing that each time we did a check run, so. This would be an ordinance, it would be ordinance 2021-23.
23. Do I have a motion to accept that? Ordinance
Make that
2021-23?
Motion.
Glenn made a motion.
Okay,
I'll
second
by
intro,
Jeff.
introduction.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
But who seconded that?
I did.
Jeff did.
Suspend, wanna suspend the rules?
Sure. I'll make a motion to suspend the
Okay,
rules and
I was
adopt
waiting
the
for
same
that.
item as presented.
I'll second it.
Second by Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And adopt.
Adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Steve.
Second.
By Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Kissling.
Aye.
Bound.
Aye.
Farron.
Aye.
Dubon.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
It's just standard bookkeeping.
Included in, I guess it was Reynolds' last quote, last pay app, or at least the documentation from John Wetzel was a certificate of substantial completion for Reynolds.
Yes.
He's got it here, April the 19th, it would be, the contractor should provide 1 year warranty on all work on the project from April 19th, 21 to April 19th of 22. So we just need an approval of the certificate of completion.
Do I have a motion?
Motion made.
Motion made, okay.
I'll
Jeff
second it.
seconded, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm not very good, but did you do that, Jeff?
I did, yeah.
Steve, and then second by Jeff.
I guess we should ask Jerry, is it complete? Okay, that's good.
But he turned it in though.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, and then the next thing was Phyllis Minke purchased all the frames at the Old Town Hall. Was an amount
$5,175.72.
$5,175.72.
Wow.
And you, as with any donation, the council needs to accept it, so.
we just need a motion to accept that donation so that we can then pay out of that donation that she's given us for the picture frames.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept by Steve, second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We appreciate
And
it.
you really should go look at the pictures if you haven't been in there, some really some cool pictures in there.
I have to go in there now, that's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
Steve, is a good time now to talk about the succession utility billing. We've had some staffing issues in utility billing and
Yes,
just-
go ahead, Tom.
Okay.
That's under other
Other
council
items.
Other items.
Other items?
And at some point, we're gonna have to hire and train people in there. It takes a while to train people in there. And so what I was wanting to get approval to is to hire a trainee in the utility billing office.
In preparation for turnover?
Right.
Okay.
Turnover, retirement,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's not a job you come into
Yeah, you just, yeah.
and.
There's not like a training program that you take at the,
That's right.
It's
Community
not in a book,
college.
so to speak. Totally.
Huh.
Here's a book, read it. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So.
yeah.
Well, there's more and more, because my wife works in there, there's more and more customers all the time, and then,
Yeah, and it's getting to be, the load is getting to be more.
Exactly.
On the,
Well,
On
just
everybody.
like Jerry said too, as far as trying to get the metering done too and things, because you can't keep putting them in there and put the load.
John wants to do it too, but he's waiting on some help.
Yeah.
and we have, we have Angela that, she's, thank goodness we do. It's, when one of the main three goes out, it really puts a strain on
Yeah.
everybody else.
I think we should just entertain a motion to go ahead and do that, but that's to hire somebody to start training them for the succession as you're talking about.
Assume we got money in the budget, right?
That comes from
Well,
utilities.
come out of the utilities, right?
Yeah.
Right, so-
A fourth of each utility.
Right.
But I would just need approval for me to hire someone else.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim,
Second it.
second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Your succession plan is passed, Tom.
Okay, well, at least I can start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Is there any items for the council to bring up?
I have one,
Okay.
just something I've observed, living on the highway in front of the train tracks, that northbound traffic on 231 gets stopped after it passes State Road 64. And even as people are approaching, anybody from out of town is not aware that there's a bypass. And I feel kind of bad watching those truck drivers and cars sit there for sometimes an hour, 2 hours, waiting for the train to start moving again. I'd like to propose that maybe some people in maybe the street department look into designing some signage that would help those travelers coming north to know that there is a bypass and how they can find it. I'm not exactly sure where the best placement of it would be. Obviously prior to 64 as you're coming north, but not sure exactly what it should say. But I just think that we need to address that northbound traffic when people are in town that aren't from town. Most people around here know now that bypass is there, and most use it. But when I go out there and literally walk up and down the turn lane and talk to people, they're almost always from somewhere away. They're not from Jasper, Huntingburg, or even around Du Bois County. And I think it would be nice to put some signage out where they would know how to find the bypass.
Would that be something that Rachel's program?
That's Mayor.
Well, actually, that's one of the things that, actually, we have a meeting with them on Thursday with Taylor Seaford anyway. And then part of that is signage, Wayfair signage and things of this kind, so we'll bring that up to them and see what they can come up with also.
Yeah, that's part of
We
that.
might
That was
wanna also look
that was
at
part of
some-
that agreement, I
I
thought.
think
Yeah.
coming in from the west side of town, they can come in and see the signage for the bypass, and if they get past it and get all the way up to the intersection of 64 and 231, then
Yeah.
they're stuck,
So there could be more than just one place to put the
Yeah.
signage and
Mhm.
things
How
of
about
that.
a golf course or somewhere?
Yeah, okay, we'll bring that up on Thursday. Good. Any other
Thank
items
you.
for the council? Any citizen items? Dan, you're the citizen.
You Dan? I'm good.
Okay, how about somebody else wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Sure.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?